the door and get in the car.
All right.
Okay,
Yay.
it's all good.
Okay.
So good morning, everybody. We're going live on Facebook. And of course, we're also recording this so that we can upload it to our YouTube channel, as well as the recording will be available on Facebook since it's live. It automatically will be available there, but we really want to encourage everybody to go to YouTube and Scale for Women and like us there and hit the little bell so that you get notifications when we upload new content. So just want to welcome everyone. It is Tuesday, August the something. What is it? Oh, the 16th. I think Melanie and I are starting to lose track of days here.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. And I want to tell everybody, I've gotten a lot of questions real quick, and then I am en route to an event. So I just wanted to hang on here with my video. Here's the thing. A lot of people have asked me about the round table because we launched the masterminds yesterday. And so every Monday for 6 weeks, yesterday was the first round table club. It's a separate Facebook group because it is a paid membership level. So if you are in that, if you're wanting to join it, you can go to the links on scaleforwomen.com, go to the membership levels, and Roundtable Club, it's that $47. You get your 2 weeks for free. So you basically get the whole 6-week class for that first membership level. Every Monday, we will be doing a mastermind at 12 o'clock noon. So we're going to change it up after 6 weeks, but we kicked it off yesterday and you've got the recording in there. So don't miss the opportunity. If you're wanting to join, that's the way you do it. It's not in this particular link. It will be in the Roundtable Club group. So it's a separate group where all the recordings and all the materials are. So that's it.
And if you have questions, reach out to us through Messenger on Facebook. Many of you are already connected to either myself or Melanie. So you probably have our cell phone numbers and can text us. And those of you that don't, just DM us and we will get you taken care of. It's exciting, and Put Your Dream to the Test is an amazing study to be kicking off our roundtable mastermind groups with. And also don't forget Inner Circle is the next level up, and it includes monthly group coaching. So that's a benefit of being in the Inner Circle, because not only do you get all of the value of Inner Circle, the group coaching, there's other benefits in there. And if you go to scaleforwomen.com and click on the Inner Circle, it'll show you all of the benefits included in that membership level. But for every level there, you get everything in the previous levels. So you don't have to join Roundtable and Inner Circle. If you join Inner Circle, you get all those benefits plus all the benefits of Roundtable, right, Melanie? Oh, she's muted right now. Never mind. I'll tell you it's right. So today we're going to get started. Did a little poll in our Facebook group and in our community, and the winner for the August challenge, 4-day challenge, was Q4 goals and activity planning to meet those goals. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started today. I'm going to share my screen, and because the first thing I want to talk about is how you set goals and what's an easy way to do it. I have already put the workbook that I created inside of the Facebook group, and it is an Excel spreadsheet with 5 tabs, annual, and then the 4 quarters. And I'm going to tell you, ladies, I have used that spreadsheet for years. I have to create things that help me to stay on track and are simple to follow and simple to do. And so as a trainer and a leader in sales for over 17 years, just within the insurance industry, much less my previous businesses that I owned, creating goals for sales. And it's not just your sales. If you're a sales leader, there's also recruiting. There's also getting your people to hit certain milestones so that they stay in the business. And so I built a spreadsheet a long time ago that I used with all my people and that I continue to use as a business coach, specifically in sales, to help people to have a very easy way to set goals and then bust through them, not just meet them, but exceed them. Because this is what we know, what our attention is on, what our focus is on is what happens. And I'm a big believer in SMART goals. So I'm going to run through this real quick, and I'll actually upload this sheet into the group as well. So when setting goals, we want to make sure that there's a structure, and you can use the SMART goal structure and the questions here to create goals. And this could be sales goals, it could be business goals, it could be life goals, doesn't matter. This works for everything. So I'm starting with this, and then we'll move into specifically into sales. So what do exactly I want to accomplish? So a goal has to be specific, and visualization is a huge part of being able to set specific goals. So it's not about, I want to make $1,000 this month. It is about saying, I want to create $1,000 in income. Maybe it's your side hustle. I want to get 3 new clients this month. I want to gain 3 referrals this month. I mean, everything has to be very specific and then measurable. How will I know when this is accomplished? What will I be doing activity that is measurable, because that's really all it is other than the end goal. So I've got to be able to measure how close I am getting. And one of the biggest lessons that I had a conversation yesterday topic, and understanding how world-class athletes operate is a lesson that we all can learn from. And with world-class athletes, world-class salespeople, world-class business people, they set a goal, and then the goal is set aside. We don't focus on the goal. We focus on daily activity that moves us every day towards reaching the goal. Attainable. What skills or outside help will I need to reach my goal? We're not always, I mean, we don't come into something typically with professional skills or professional skill sets, and especially those that are just entering either their business course or their sales organization may not have developed all the skills they need yet in order to be massively successful. So what skills or outside help will I need to reach my goal? And this is something that you will write down on here. Relevant. Is this goal worthwhile? And if it is it the right time? We have to understand and think into the processes here. Is this goal worthwhile? And let me tell you, if you have not made the decision and commitment that this is a worthwhile goal, it will be so easy for you to become distracted and derailed when the going gets tough. So we have to understand, believe, and be committed that this goal is worthwhile and it's the right time. And then finally, the T, time bound. When will I complete the goal? And when will I work on it? Again, we have some women in this community that are side hustling. They have a day job, and then they're starting to build a business on the side. So when will you work on this? And if it's your full-time gig, I still need to understand, when am I going to work specifically on the activities to move this goal, to move me towards meeting this goal? So SMART goals help us to get very focused. What exactly do I want to accomplish? So is it specific? How will I know when it's been accomplished? It has to be measurable, which is why I coach and teach and train in activity-based goals, because activity is the only thing you can control. We cannot always control outcomes, but we can control our activity. Is it attainable? What skills or outside help are you going to need? Relevant? Is the goal worthwhile? And is it the right time? And finally, time bound. When will I complete the goal? When will I work on it? Because we have to be committed. Otherwise, again, we are going to be easily distracted, easily discouraged, and easily derailed when it gets tough. Because let me tell you, in sales, things get tough. People say no. So part of the training that we do in mindset is in how to get past the no and not take it personally. Does Melanie or Millie, do you guys have any questions? If there's anybody online, I can see you're in the chat as well.
This is so great because it just represents everything we talked about yesterday on Put Your Dreams to Test. I didn't really
True.
cover, I knew we were going to cover this today. It really, you have to have very measurable goals, right? Timelines, the milestones. This is so important to the success. And this is where we get derailed a lot of the time, Shelley. So I love you for covering this. It's really critical to get this part right.
Mm-hmm. You know, they say that a goal without a deadline is nothing but a dream. It's a wish. I prefer to use wish because I've read the book, Put Your Dream to the Test. So, but really, if we do not sit down and really think through a goal to attack every single part of the SMART acronym, then we're going to set ourselves up to make it hard. When the reality is, keep it simple. Follow proven methodology. Follow what other successful people have done. And you are already, by doing that, you are increasing your probability of hitting your goal by about 1,000%. And if you haven't ever really set goals for yourself or for your business, there is no better time to start than now. If you have been in a job where you had goals set for you and you were just expected to perform, so what? Today's a new day. Today's the first day of the rest of your life, right? So you get today to make some choices about what am I going to do to move myself forward in my life and in my business and in sales. There is so much opportunity, whether you're selling a product or a service. This is the best way for you to create the life that you want. So that's what Melanie and I are here to do, is to help you to find the easy ways. Oh yeah. Millie says, if you want to be wise, hang out with wise people. That is so true. And read. If you're not access wise people, read their books. There's a lot of wisdom out there. I'm going to stop the share here because I got to go to a different workbook. So one of the things that I think is incredibly important about goals is really truly understanding that once you set a goal, set it aside, and then focus every single day on the things that you can control. So I'm going to bring up the worksheet, Excel worksheet that I developed, and we're going to, if I can find it, hang on. Sorry about this, ladies. I got to get there. Open folder, thought I had it up already. Any questions? Do you have anything to add, Melanie, while I'm pulling up this?
No,
spreadsheet?
I think one of the things is don't get so bogged down on thinking that, well, I may not know, or I may need to change it, because this is your, if we say your map, right? It's your decision. If you need to change a goal, then change it. Don't feel like you're stuck in, well, I've already done this, so I don't have any flexibility. It's a working document and it's a working plan. So every day, if you get clarity, if you have a new connection that you meet, if you get an idea, to implement something, just put it into your plan. Don't feel like you have to trash something and start all over. Just tweak it, right? Be flexible to tweak it. And I think that's where we need to give ourselves permission, because as women, we have a lot of responsibilities for our home and our communities, and we get a little overwhelmed sometimes.
Absolutely. All right, ladies, I have the worksheet that I uploaded into the Facebook group. And as you can see, there's some homework you're going to have to do. And that's why we're going to go through this over 4 days, because there are some things you're going to need to think about, think into as you set the goals. The workbook that I uploaded actually has 5 tabs on it: annual, and then one for each quarter. And the quarters are identical. They're just tabs for one for each quarter. So the first thing I'm going to do is go through the annual tab, because this is where you're going to set up your big picture. For 2023, this is where you're going to start. And then you can fill in each quarter. So since we're coming into Q4 for 2022, I'm going to focus on Q4 today. So you can download and save this workbook, and then save a copy and name it 2023, so that you can start thinking about what you want to do next year. Because the fact is, this year is going to be over before we know it. So let's really think into what are our goals for sales, recruiting, all those things that go along with sales and sales leadership now, so that we can get a really good jump start and start gaining momentum. And if we can use this system for Q4, then you're going to feel comfortable with it, and you're going to just blow out 2023, because you know what you need to focus on. So on the spreadsheet, and you will just fill in the information. What is your monthly team sales goal? And if it's 100,000, 20,000, 25, whatever it is, you need to put a number in here. When I put in, so if I'm going to say my monthly sales goal for my team is, I'm going to use actually some numbers from when I was a district with AFLAC. So my monthly sales goals were around 100,000. And then how much of that are you personally going to produce? Whether it's real estate, whether it's insurance, whether it's medical device sales, whether it's selling direct sales products for whatever company you represent, you are going to have personal sales. And the reason that no matter how big your team is, you still need to have personal sales is because you need to keep your own saw sharp. When you are coaching up your rock stars, your leaders within your organization, you have to stay current on not only the current sales methodology and psychologies, but also just keep your own saw sharp, so that when you're out observing or you're working with your people, you know, oh, okay, I can see where this skill set is needs some work. And it could be how they approach somebody, or it could be when they're having that meeting. It could be, maybe they're not great at closing. because of personality style or just lack of experience. So if you don't keep your own saw sharp, it's going to be more difficult for you to coach people through all the skill sets that required to make them exceptional sales professionals. So maybe my personal goal for my own sales is $10,000. And this spreadsheet is set up with some formulas, and you can go in here and change them. So if you're in if you're a team leader where you're making override commissions on your team, whatever that percentage is, you can change in the formula box. Same thing with your personal sales. So if I'm going to, if I'm making 20% commission on my own sales, then I'm going to leave it at 0.2. If I'm making an override, I might, I want to put that in there as well, because this is also going to show you kind of what your monthly, what your quarterly income could be for that quarter. And actually, I'm going to change that to 30 because this is quarterly, 10,000 a month, 300,000. So if I put 300,000 in here, my override is 8%, then I can expect a gross override commission of 24,000 on my personal sales, 20% average. So I'm going to expect for that quarter $30,000 in income just from gross sales. My quarterly, oh, that was monthly. Sorry, ladies. Whoops. Yeah, let's do 1 million. That's good. So quarterly team then is 300,000. There's where that goes, and 30,000. New recruits. If you are in sales, whether you're a sales associate or a sales team leader, you need to be recruiting. You need to be bringing new people to your team. Organic growth is the best and fastest way to grow a sales organization. And in order to recruit new people, you've got to have nominations. Nominations come from, if you're the sales leader, from your team, plus your own organic out there talking to people. For a sales associate, if you're trying to help grow a team and eventually have your own team, then you got to get good at bringing new people into the organization. And I run by the magic or the rule of 24. So 12 months in a year, if I can recruit 2 new people to my team every month, that's 24. And I know that about 1/3 of them or 1/4 of them are going to stick and be long-term. So that's how I'm planning how many people I'm adding to my team each quarter and each year and each month. So if I want 3 new recruits this quarter, then I'm going to have to nominate 12, because I know if I have 12 people that I'm talking to, I'm probably going to have 3 of them join my team. And this is, if you're really good, that number might be, better. You might talk to 3, recruit 3, highly doubt it, but hey, let's shoot for perfection, right? Not really. So recruiting is a big part of the sales organization, because as a sales team leader, you've got to continually building your team, because as you're building people, they're going to go off on their own. And we want them to. We want to grow leaders, right? So we're not going to worry about, if someone gets promoted and they go off and have their own team, that takes away from me. No, actually it doesn't. It helps me grow. And especially if I'm in the mindset that I'm continually recruiting. New clients, whether it's a business account, if you're B2B or if you're B2C, business to consumer, how many new clients do I want this quarter? And then how many sales to exist, how much that's our bread and butter is our existing clients. If we are providing that customer experience, that they are loyal to us and they love our product, we know we're going to make sales to existing clients every month, every quarter, every year. So if you are new in sales and you haven't developed that account base or client base, then, you might be thinking about, okay, I don't have anything for this quarter for existing clients because I'm new in my sales organization. But moving forward, this is something you want to think about. So how many new clients do I want to add this quarter? These are numbers that you're going to need to think into. And if you're new into a sales organization, get with your sales leader and ask them how many new clients per month and per quarter should I be shooting for? What's the average? And then, of course, me being an overachiever and coaching people to be overachievers, if a new client if a client acquisition number is 3 or 1 a month, then I'm going to double that, or I'm going to triple it. And that's going to be my goal. If it's B2B and you're looking at acquiring 2 new business accounts per month, then I'm going to be shooting for 4. That's going to be my goal. And I'm going to develop the activity plan to make sure that I hit that number. So let's just say in here, I'm going to put in new clients per quarter. I'm going to put 6. So that's 2 a month. And sales to existing clients. Let's say I am a new person in my organization. I don't have any existing clients. I'm going to put 0. And then as a sales leader or as a sales person who might get bonused for bringing new people to the organization, I want to put a goal in here for how many new recruits I'm going to get through either a bonus criteria or some kind of milestone criteria for the quarter. So let's say I have 3 new recruits. I'm going to strive to get at least 2 of them through that new recruit criteria for a quarter. Quarterly AP, which is annualized production or annualized premiums or annualized whatever, then I'm going to look at, again, what is a new associate in my team? What is the average? And then I'm going to put that number in there based on how many I'm going to get through that criteria. Activity. Here's another one that you're going to, if you're not talking about this or you haven't ever tracked it, this is going to change your sales production. It's going to change the way you think about sales, and you'll probably fall in love with it even more. Because one of the things that I found as a new sales associate way back in the day is that I made things way too hard. And I was just out there contacting people, whether it was cold calling, warm leads, friends and family, because that's what they tell us all to start out with, which I don't believe in. I've never coached that. But how many contacts, how many approaches am I going to need to do weekly to meet my monthly new sales goal? And I use the ratio to start of 10 to 1. So for every appointment that I get, I will have had to have made at probably on average 10 approaches. Now, you may be way better than that. You may be a veteran in what you're doing, but you need to know your ratios. And if you are newer or you've never looked at this, go to your sales leader, go into your hierarchy at whatever company you're representing in sales and ask them if they haven't already been teaching you this, or you're on your own, you're a solopreneur out here. What is the average of the number of approaches that I will need to make before I schedule an appointment? And let me tell you what the secret is in this. When you know your ratios, you have something to measure. When you know your ratios, you can make this a game. And when I gamify things, it makes it so much more fun. When I was a district manager with Aflac, I would tell my new associates, I will pay you $100 if you can get 100 no's in a row. And I said, you've got to actually try. You can't just go out and walk in a door and, hey, do you want some Aflac? You have to use the system. You have to use the teaching on how to get past the gatekeeper, get to the decision maker, get that appointment. If you could get 100 no's in a row, I would give you a $100 bill. And in 17 years as a sales leader with Aflac, I never paid out that $100, not one time, for a couple of different reasons. First of all, if you're out there making those numbers of approaches every week, whether it's by email, whether it's by phone, whether it's by walking in the door, you will get better. And the law of large numbers becomes your ally. So we need to know our ratios, because that's how we develop SMART goals, right? Measurable. How do I measure this? What am I measuring? So if I know that on average, a new sales associate, it takes them 10 approaches to get an appointment, then I'm going to be working on getting that ratio down to 7-to-1 or 5-to-1. And let me tell you another secret. Referrals that's like magic, because on average, you will schedule an appointment with a referral 1 out of 2 times versus cold calling, which is that 7, 8, 9, 10-to-1, depending on what you're selling and who you're approaching. So we need to understand our ratios. And then how many DM stands for decision maker? How many decision maker presentations do I need weekly to meet my new sales goal? And a ratio of 3-to-1 for decision maker presentation to close business is pretty average for a newer, or maybe 4-to-1 for a newer sales associate in an organization or getting started in their sales business, where more veteran associates, more veteran sales professionals, that will probably be 2-to-1. Nobody closes 100%. And if they tell you they do, I'd like to talk to them and understand what they're doing. I'm pretty good. I've never closed 100%. I'm better than pretty good, by the way. So there are, again, if you look into the cells, there's formulas in some of these things. So the formulas, if you have your ratios and averages, then I'd be happy to visit with you individually on how to, what you want to put in here to make sure that you are hitting the right, you're setting yourself up for the right activity to hit the numbers that you want. And then I don't know about you, where I came from, the last month of the quarter was a push week or push month. And I'm pretty sure every industry has this. And I've always done 150%. Those were my goals. 150% of my monthly sales was for my push weeks. And if you do that and you hit the numbers, then typically you're going to exceed your annual goals. And if you have quota, oh, such a dirty word. If you have quotas, this will also help you exceed your quotas. So increasing your sales that last month of the quarter. And I actually built and was taught to build a plan for every quarter around driving new sales hard in the third month of the quarter. And I have used this with every kind of business in coaching since I left active insurance sales. I have used the same methodology with all kinds of sales organizations and businesses and salespeople. And I'm telling you, this works and it's simple, but setting things out in advance so you know what's going to happen each month of that quarter and where you're going to invest your time and your talent and skill development is really critical. So if you're a sales leader and you have the ability to run contests for your salespeople, 10% of the override that you make on your downline or your sales team is what I recommend to assign for your contest for the quarter. So if your contest, if you're 10% of your override commission, going back up here, team override monthly, $8,000, then 10% is $800. And that's how I would invest in my contest development. So October, the first month of the quarter, you want to focus on and reward activity for new accounts, new clients, new sales. Second month of the quarter, follow up, because we know that one of the worst things that salespeople do is follow up. And in fact, there are some statistics out there that only about 2% of salespeople follow up more than 7 times with a potential client. So make yourself that above average salesperson and develop a strategy for follow-up. So if I want my sales team to be focused on following up, because in October, we made a whole lot of new contacts. So now in November, I want to focus on the follow-up activity. Not that they're not going to be out making new contacts, but I want to focus as a sales leader on the activities that are going to drive a lot of sales the last month of that quarter. So follow-up activity, weeks 2 and 4, good things people love, gift cards, gas cards. If your people, think about each individual on your team, because you can set contests for an individual or you can set team contests so that you're driving some competition as well, or figure out what motivates each individual person on your team and set up a contest specific to them for that month. Again, we'll go into some more of this in detail through the next several days through our 4-day challenge to give you ideas and brainstorm on those. Marketing plan. What am I going to do? Social media wise, do I have a digital newsletter? How, I need to be mapping out what I'm going to do each month of that quarter for my marketing for both client acquisition and new recruits. And then if you're not having weekly meetings with your sales team as a sales leader, you need to. You are the person who is responsible as the sales team leader for educating your team. And that can be on anything from new initiatives within your organization, the parent company. It could be competitive intelligence. It could be some type of selling skill. It could be how to, there's 1,000 topics. But if you will set out in advance your weekly meeting topics, then you can also assign topics to people within your organization. So in your weekly meeting, you are not the only one talking, that you're involving your rising stars and you're coaching them on how to run meetings that bring value to everyone in the room. Because in a sales organization, you're typically going to have some brand new people, some people who are have a little bit of experience, and then you're going to have your veterans. You're going to have your people, your sales professionals that have been with the company for a while or been on your team for a while. So you've got to develop strategies with weekly meetings that will bring value to everyone or involve everyone. And I'm always a big promoter of involve your veterans in your trainings and your team meetings. Let them help you teach and train your new associates, your new salespeople within your organization. Budget for expenses monthly. If you haven't been thinking about this, do it now, because I need to know what I can be expecting I'm going to be spending every single month. And I'm a big believer in QuickBooks. I love QuickBooks, but I know there's a lot of other types of applications out there and bookkeeping apps out there. I also believe in using an accountant. So I keep my own monthly expenses and income, and I do my own invoicing through my coaching and training business. But then I have that in QuickBooks so that I can very easily send that off to my accountant through the internet or give them access to my account, and they as possible. And then personal professional development plan for each month. We have to always be sharpening the saw. We always have to be leveling ourselves up, because when we get to the mastermind group in the round table and above for the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, the very first law is the law of the lid. And the law of the lid says that we cannot lead people who are at a higher leadership level than we are. So we have to be continually up-leveling our own leadership ability, capacity, and skills so that we can continue to lead people as we're growing them. So having a thoughtful plan for each month of what you're going to focus on for personal and professional development is really critical to your overall success, not only in your sales business, but in your life. And then what is a strength area I want to focus on for this quarter? And if my strength is in training as a sales leader, then maybe this quarter, that's really where I want to be focused. I want to be focused on increasing my training time with my sales associates. I want to be maybe focusing on improving my own training skills. And so whatever that area of focus is, it might be on a strength area to focus on, might be in communication. It might be in coaching. And whatever that is, though, if we write that down and make a plan of activity for it, because that's what we can control, then we know that we are going to improve in that. Melanie, do you have anything to add?
Nope. I just think consistency, my my thing is that all about consistency. So if you schedule this, you got to try it if you haven't done it before, and just create consistent patterns so that you can get really comfortable with using the spreadsheet, using the process. And I think the big thing that you said is so important is get your team involved. When you're developing your team, get your team involved, get their ideas involved, have them participate in developing themselves, and use.
Absolutely. And when I was
their training.
Yeah, when I was a sales manager, I did this for myself, and then we did this as a team. One of our team meetings each quarter, usually halfway through the quarter, was going through and doing this for the next quarter. So we all had our annual plan, but you know what? Things change throughout the year. So this is a working document. It is not a written in stone, because what happens if I set a goal for personal sales of $10,000 this month, but I get a referral and it lands me an account that is worth $20,000 or $100,000? then I'm definitely going to go back and I'm going to update my goals. What if I don't hit my goal target? Then I am going to definitely come back in, look at my ratios, and you've got to be tracking your activity every single day. When you set activity-based goals, you've got to track your activity. And I believe it's the third day is when I have planned to do personal activity tracking so that you can start to develop your own ratios if you don't have something from your management team above you. If you're a salesperson, as a sales leader, you're going to have a hierarchy as well. Or if you maybe have just changed companies or changed industries, different industries have different ratios. And there's going to be enough people, hopefully, that want to see you succeed, that they're going to be very open with those ratios. And I got to tell you, if I only had one person ever come into my team when I was a district manager with Aflac that ever asked me about ratios. What is the average ratio here? Because people aren't taught to focus on it. People aren't taught. When we say measurable and SMART goals, nobody ever told them, oh, well, a new associate usually takes them 10 approaches to schedule an appointment. And when you have 4 scheduled appointments in a week, typically 3 of those are going to happen. One of them is going to push off or cancel. So having and understanding the ratios, not only does it give us a true blueprint and a map for how to reach our goals, it also keeps us from going insane and thinking, why isn't this working? Oh my gosh, I'm out here, I'm doing all this stuff and nothing's happening. Well, if you don't know the ratios and you're not tracking your activity, it can feel like that. When you're tracking your activity and you know your ratios, then you're focused on the law of large numbers. Then you're focusing on improving your skill set. And when you are focused on those things, those are things you can control. And I'm telling you, if you will do this, your sales business will explode. And if you take your team and do it with them, it's going to explode however many times for however many people you have on your team. Millie, I know you're on here. Do you have any questions or comments about this?
No, I just shared that I'm doing the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership as part of, because I'm part of Primerica, I just recently joined them. And my my leader, he asked me, because he knows I'm a John Maxwell certified leader and coach, and he asked me to present one of the laws each week. So we just started that. So tomorrow is our meeting, and I'm doing the law process. So yeah, so all of this helps me grow, helps the team grow.
Absolutely. So with Primerica, I know that that they're going to have somebody within that organization. Have they talked to you about these kinds of ratios?
Yes,
And
and
so
praise the Lord, quota is not one of them. It's not a dirty word for Primerica because you don't have quota.
Well, probably, yeah, yeah. But if you can get those quota or those ratios, then you'll be able to fill this spreadsheet in and know exactly what you need to do, how many contacts you need to make not only per week. You can I encourage people to break these down into days then.
Right, I love it. And of course I'm in my car, but when I get to work, and you said you're going to share this, right?
Yeah. Oh, this one's already on there. I'm going to share the SMART goal page too.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be utilizing this because, like I said previously, I like structure. I like to set goals, and I like to do. I'm always trying to be active. I consider just being on here this morning an activity that I've done that's getting me closer to my goal.
Absolutely.
Uh,
I would
yeah.
agree with that.
Definitely.
One place where I kind of skipped here, this under activity number of AWP, that's average weekly producers. That's one of our acronyms from back when I was in Aflac. But it applies everywhere. If you are a team leader or you are building a team, then this override and the team sales goals, that's where this number comes into play, because I know that in the world of Aflac, that every average weekly producer is worth $1,500 in premium in sales. So I know that in order to reach this goal, I need, because I have this formula in here, I need 9 producers a week in order to reach the team goal for the quarter.
Right.
I mean, if you know what the averages are, this worksheet will just make it so simple on the things that you need to focus on in order to meet and exceed goals in sales.
Definitely.
And
Well,
this
I'm
is
gonna
this
keep-
is my wheelhouse. And Melanie's too. That's why we started this.
Amen. You gotta follow it. You know, the thing is, like people said, when you build a website, that's your company. And so even if you're doing it part-time, even if you're doing it as a side hustle, you just started it, you know, and if you don't have a website, it's okay. Start with a spreadsheet, and then you need to build those workflows into your website so that that's where you check every single morning. Like
Mhm.
that should be your, how many sales did we bring in? What are our focuses? Who do we need to contact? How many email campaigns do we need to send? Like that, those are all the goals that you should be putting the activity wise. But this is where you start, and because you can see it, and so it's really just a great resource, Shelley.
Well, I tell you, I worked on this. I developed this over a couple of years, and it can probably still be tweaked some more. And for each individual woman who takes advantage of this, you're going to tweak it to your business and to your industry. This is pretty basic, but I got to tell you, I love basic. I like to keep it simple. I don't need to have, so many metrics that I can't keep track of it. So if I know, and I'm telling you, you're going to have to trust me now or believe me later. If you can keep your focus on what you can control, which is activity, and then the activities that produce results, all the rest of it, honestly, in my opinion, you don't have to worry about. So if you're focused on helping people grow, and you can't, as a sales team leader, you can't help people grow unless you know these ratios. You can't help people grow unless you are being focused on personal and professional development, on strengths, and helping your people build theirs. And every time you help a new person on your team to understand their ratios and how they can improve them and what skill sets they need to be working on to get better at providing the service or product into the market, whether it's, again, B2B or B2C, that is the way that you build huge, successful teams. And if you haven't focused on these things before, or haven't been shown what to focus on, you're in the right place right now, because this is what we do. So with that, we're going to wrap up a few minutes early today. I'm very excited to be doing another 4-day challenge. Melanie and I have been thinking hard and thinking through, and I appreciate everybody who answered the poll I put out there, because we really do want to provide the value that meets your needs. And, sometimes what we think might be important isn't what it is. So in this case, there was a few even somebody put in, what about this? Is this something you can do a challenge on? And so we're keeping track of all these things so that we can continue to provide value that helps you to grow as a salesperson, a sales leader, as a woman, as a human being. And I will be back on tomorrow. Melanie and I will be tag teaming it, I think, because I need to talk to her about that. She might not know this yet, because I have a big training tomorrow. So we are going to be back with more information on how to set goals that you control and the right things to focus on so that you're not only meeting, but exceeding those goals for the fourth quarter of 2022 and setting you up to have a plan of action for 2023 that is going to, if my goal is for everyone in this group that wants to double their sales in 2023. So with that, Melanie, have any final words today?
Nope, just hang with us. This is a great next 4-day challenge. So this is the great first day.
All right. We'll say goodbye for now, everybody, and see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern time right here on Zoom through the Facebook page. And if you have any questions, please feel free to either DM us or put comments on the Facebook page. Love you all. Bye.